pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, everyone, welcome to our May regular town board meeting. We have Deputy Clerk Burdick pinch hitting tonight for the town clerk, so if you go ahead and start us off with roll call.
Councilwoman Maroc,
Here.
Councilwoman McShane, Councilman Hoyt,
Here.
Councilwoman Witkowski, Supervisor Hunter.
Here. All right, we start with our review and approval of minutes. Tonight we have the minutes from the April meeting prepared by the town clerk. And Becky and I, before the meeting, went over a change that needs to be made to these minutes. Board, if you look on page 6, we had a motion to pay the bills as audited. That needs to be amended to say vouchers number 104 through 149. And the total needs to change to $43,332.41. And this is as a result of a few corrections that were made to vouchers after the approval at the meeting. So this is the corrected abstract. And then again, the information is, it's corrected to say vouchers 104 through 149, totaling $43,332.41. So with that exception, if no one else has any issues with any other parts of the minutes, I'd like to make a motion to...
You can give me a second, because I
Sure.
should have a question on something.
Okay. Councilwoman Maroc has a question.
I'm trying to find it here. I marked it and I didn't. It was to do with the recycling center and about advertising it, and she had written in here that we weren't going to advertise because Steve is supposed to come back, and I didn't take it that way because I never got an answer one way or the other.
It looks like page 3. Yep, right, under old business on page 3.
At the bottom.
Yes. It says, will not be posted because hopefully Steve Beaudry will be coming back onto the job soon, and I had said that wasn't the point, that, and nobody said yes or no, so it wasn't we will not. There was no answer to that when I brought it up.
Okay, would you like the minutes to be amended?
Yes.
Okay. To state,
Will that be posted at this time?
yeah. I'm just, to state correction. Just making a note on what happened here, okay. Yes, I think in light of that, we should table the adoption or, excuse me, acceptance of the minutes until our June meeting. Is that acceptable? May I have a second?
Absolutely.
Yep, all right. All in favor? Aye. All right, so we've tabled the minutes until we can get clarification for our June meeting. All right, for reports and remittances from department heads and town committees, we had a minor paperwork glitch that has resulted in my supervisor reports not being prepared and ready for this evening. They will be ready as soon as possible and then available on the website and then paper copies as well. So the numbers will be the same, we just don't have the documentation prepared for this evening. I think there's something else I'd like to wait for, but we'll wait for communications or new business. But, so, all right, town clerk.
Alright, for the month of April, town clerk took in $224. Building permits took in $680. Bottle returns was $118.20. And trash recycle took in $2,575. Total revenues for the month was $3,745.20. After paying DEC, Ag Markets, and the Health Department, the total that went to the town supervisor was $3,585.55.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion to accept the clerk's report. May I have a second? Second by Councilman Hoyt. We'll do a roll call on this, please.
Councilwoman LaRock,
Yes.
Councilman Hoyt,
Yes.
Councilman Cussy,
Yes.
Supervisor Bunting.
Yes. Okay. Okay, Highway Superintendent?
Things are pretty good. The guys, we knew the rain was coming, so the guys took a few days. We flushed out and dug out most every culvert we could find that was bad in town, so luckily we saved most all the roads. Other than, or compared to other municipalities that got nailed. Every day it's nice like today. We got at least one machine, usually 2 graders running. The rainy days we're ditching. And the roads, some roads are good, the bad ones we know. We're trying to get there. Just Mother Nature's just raining. You know, we'd rather be grading than ditching right now, but we're on our way. Other than that, we got nothing really to report. Just we're on our way. We know your road has probably got some potholes in it, so we're coming as soon as we can. Otherwise, that's about it.
Okay. All right, anyone have anything for Jared? No, okay. All right, thanks, Jared. All right, for the assessor's report for May, the tentative assessment roll came out May 1st, 2025. I will be in the office sitting with the roll Tuesday, May 13th from 9 to 1, Thursday, May 22nd from 4 to 8 p.m., and Saturday, May 24th by appointment. Grievance day is Friday, May 30th from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. I have attached the proposal from GAR Associates. We cannot move forward with the townwide reevaluation project without a signed proposal. We need to commit soon so that both myself and GAR can start planning. So we'll have to look this over and make a move on that at our June meeting.
Did you have any thoughts on that in terms of time?
The way we budgeted was overtime. Do you remember we
Yes.
broke it out amongst a few years? So, I defer to Bobby's timing for what, you know, cyclically help.
It's in there.
Yeah. And we have money budgeted this year to get the ball rolling. So,
October 2024, July 2026. Past that.
so it looks like we've got some reval work about to get started. So we'll know more about this or talk more about this at our June meeting.
Well, don't we have to approve it before they can start it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
I think she's doing some preliminary work on her own,
Yeah, the
set the ground.
idea was as much work as she could possibly do toward it, but then use use GAR as, when things become more technical,
okay,
right?
and you voted on that, doing that?
We did vote on that, back last year, that's why I see the
Yep.
project start date, October 24th.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I wasn't missing anything.
Okay, all right, building and code enforcement?
We have nine new permits year to date. We've got about 22 outstanding from last year. The burn ban ends May 14th. Just be careful, I know it's very wet, but I stopped at a couple places that were burned, some pretty big brush piles. So we gave a warning instead of calling DEC. DEC is just writing tickets, so just be careful, use some common sense if you're gonna burn. Been working on junk cars, the mud is gone now, so there's no excuse they can't get them out of their yards, so quite a few letters have gone out, and the next thing will be writing tickets and taking them to court. So most of them applied to move some of them, some are fighting, so about it.
Okay, all right, thanks, Tom. Planning board? Chairman Gilchrist here.
Recently met with Rensselaer County Economic Development and Planning Department, Linda Vonderheide. Had a conversation about a number of things that are of interest to the town of Grafton. One of the things is training for the board that's required. That's why we initially made contact with her 6-8 weeks ago or so. There were classes in October. Rensselaer County and Albany County get together. They put on a big shindig at Hudson Valley. Any planning board member that doesn't have the proper number of hours should attend. Also talked to her about the lot line adjustment changes I want to make. I want to shorten the process for simple lot line adjustments. Had a short conversation with them. They've offered to do some research. I've been on the computer. I've done a lot of research, but I took them up on their offer. So they're going to do some digging and get back to me. And hopefully I'll get you a complete package, I would hope by the next meeting. Solar farms. If somebody came in tomorrow with plans to put a solar farm in the Grafton, we'd all be going, what do we do? There's no rules, no regulations. I have no experience. I don't know what this board's experience is with it or the public's experience is with it, but I think it's very low. We don't have any rules and regulations. Had a long discussion with Linda about that. I now have 6 copies of solar regulations for other communities. Gaston, Scotticoke, North Greenbush, Skodak, East Greenbush, West Sand Lake, I believe. Is the other one.
I did those.
You did? Okay. What do you mean you did those?
You got it from me.
Oh,
Handed it to you.
okay. I knew one of
We
them.
were actively looking at it. I talked to Mark about it. We're very, very, very limited to where solar farms can go into Grafton. The terrain, the main thing is the power source. There's a very short stress of 3-phase power that can be, it's half of Babcock Lake down to Couts Hollow is the only lines in the town that will carry any substantial solar farms. And the terrain. I've had 2 or 3 companies come out and look, and I'm going, well, we're gonna do 10 acres here, but 10 acres needs to be clear cut. And once they saw that and the soil conditions, the solid rock, it's a big deterrent. Not to say we shouldn't have something in place, but we're very fortunate we're not loaded with big fields like Hoosick and the other surrounding towns.
Yeah, we're not a farm community with people with lots of acreage that's been clear cut in the past. But we should have something, and I think we should start looking into it.
I did talk to Phil about it last year, and he got me the one for that one there.
So
Why should we have something?
what are we going to do if we have nothing and somebody comes in and wants to
And
do
wants
it?
to do something, okay. Are we mandated to have something?
No,
So we could be
Absolutely.
reactionary if someone just showed up and wanted to do one.
it would be 100%
Right,
reactionary.
but we should have
That's my opinion. My
something.
opinion is we should have something on the books.
Right,
I agree with
okay.
you, Mark.
We have an
I,
extensive wind program.
Yep.
you know, this isn't something I know anything about.
Yeah.
But
It
it's
was
some,
reactionary as well, you know what I'm saying? I'm more just curious, is
Yep.
the state mandating that
No, no.
municipalities all have
No
something
mandates.
in place? Okay,
just what would we do if somebody came in? As unlikely as it is.
I agree,
It's-
yeah.
I agree that we
Um,
really should have some kind of training, just so, even if somebody comes and asks about it, you know, we have to know something. You can't just sit here and go,
And it's not a simple process. I just named off 6 other communities, and every one of those should be read by someone and digested,
And they become part of the code.
and we
You do local law.
we would decide what goes in our code and what does not.
Right.
Now, sometimes counties have money available for you to go out and get outside assistance to hire somebody to come in, look your community over, and develop these rules and regulations. Sometimes. And I will look into that. If we can get some outside solar help, professional solar help, then that's the way to go. Just reading 6 codes twice and trying to digest them isn't going to make any of us an expert. Lastly, this E-code book. It has all our codes in it. I'm new here. I've been reading the codes over. I've made a copy of the book. You all know that the book's not up to date. I don't even want to tell you how far out of date it is. It needs to be updated. This isn't the only community that has access to that information. Attorneys, developers, they go on to the E-code site and they look up Grafton's rules and regulations. You can go on the E-code site and look up Hoosick Falls, Petersburg, Jamestown, Saranac Lake. You can find out what the rules and regulations are there if you're a developer or you're an attorney and you're going to be handling some situation up there. Verizon is the last one that I know of that looked in the E-code for certain information and wasn't able to find it. And weren't able to find it because it's not in there. I know it's not cheap. Somebody said $3,500 bucks. That's a lot of money. But you know how long it's been. There's whatever you've done for the last 25 years, code-wise, it's not in there. So I bring it to your attention, give it some thought, maybe get another estimate.
But what do you mean it's not in there? I mean,
It's not in there.
But,
There's some confusion.
wait, I think so.
If you go to certain municipalities,
Mhm.
they pay a fee to E-code,
Right.
and each section of your code is up there and searchable. And what we did in 1999 was adopt a update to the whole code,
Right.
but it's not searchable. You can't. go
This is
in-
not searchable on E-code
No, you can't. go
because you
in-
didn't pay for the service?
Correct. So all you can do is when you go to look up the code for the town of Grafton, you find that whole local law that was adopted when Sal helped do it back in the old days. The only update that's been done to that, as far as I know, is periodically they've done certain sections, the ethics law, things like that.
Local laws have been changed.
Yeah,
Right.
but there's no, as far as I know, the town of Grafton doesn't pay E-codes like other municipalities do to update. Because we just did this in the city of Rensselaer, paid to update
Right.
the E-codes.
I know we looked into it. I know Vicky did for a fact. Vicky
Yeah.
looked into it and made good contact with
Right.
her clerk.
And they're good. What they do is they go check with the state to see what local laws you've done since the last time they updated the code.
Huh.
And then they do the updates for you.
Have you, not to totally.
They will update the book for you.
Yeah.
And they'll send you the
Right.
new sections of the code.
Have-
Those aren't in there. Last 25 years worth of changes aren't in that book.
To me, it sounds like it would be worth
This here.
paying to get it done and
No,
have it up
they're
to
not.
date.
If
The
you
local
look,
laws are.
there's local laws that there you cannot find in there. That's where Verizon, they went into the state website, found something about cell tower
Mhm.
that the planning board had no clue because it was not part of that book. That's what that is. It wasn't nothing to do with the E-code. They went right to the state website where the law was registered.
Okay, okay, so maybe that's,
And that's where that company comes in. They go to New York State, they take all the laws that you've passed since 1999,
alright,
and they'll add that in there, they'll send you, I think we had an estimate for 4 books, I think you guys thought we only needed 2, so then I got an estimate for that, and like I said, it was around $3,000-$3,500.
right.
And then you have the option for E-code to go along with that, that's an extra fee
Right.
where people can go on to E-code. But you can also just go to the New York State website and find all the laws that have been registered since 1999 for the town of Grafton.
They're just not searchable like
Well-
E-codes is. So you would have to go year by year. Remember, we had to
Right.
check year by year and then look to see, okay, what did we do in
2015 or 2012. E-codes will take all that for you and put it into a searchable database that people could go look solar. Put in the word solar and
Right.
search it.
Right.
Have you worked recently with any of your towns to?
City of Rensselaer.
City of Rensselaer?
Yeah.
Can you throw some contacts our way and we can?
I would
Climb on
suggest
board.
that our clerk call the city clerk, Nancy Hart, and Nancy will go over everything, because we worked with the people from Ecos. They were so good. They went through and they said, you know, hey, Phil, Nancy, it looks like this was a sunset local law, so did it ever get extended? Because if it didn't get extended, we don't have to put it in the code, you know, things like that.
It's typically a function of the clerk's office or it's the board's?
Every other place I've been, it's always been the clerk's office that kind of spearheads getting it done.
Okay.
Part of the program is also when you change a law, add the local law, whatever you may do, this company prints out replacement to go inside the book. So they send them to you, and
I gotta state, what actually happens is this: when you do a new law, they don't automatically update it. It's up to the municipality to then contact E-code again and say, you know, they don't do it every year. I mean, that's a different fee altogether from what you got a quote for.
it is, yes.
You know?
But it's part of the program. I mean, I've worked with those books for
Oh, I'll do
25,
it for
30
you.
years,
But
and every year I would get new sections to put in the book,
Great, to add into the book.
to replace stuff.
When a
that's a
town,
different fee.
excuse
If
me,
they're
It very well could be, I can't remember, I
Yeah.
have to look the paperwork.
when a town passes a local law, it has to be forwarded with a cover letter from the supervisor or from the clerk?
The clerk will file it with the Secretary of State's office.
Yes,
And then normally the clerk, if you have the ongoing service with
Right.
E-codes,
great.
would send a copy over to E-codes. E-codes then waits until it's verified that it's been filed and updated on the website for New York State, Secretary of State's office. And then they'll say, okay, we'll do it automatically if you pay for that service. Otherwise, it's every 3 years or 4 years whenever you contact E-codes to do the update.
That's to whom the letter's sent, to the Secretary of State.
Well,
When
the
we
Secretary of
pass a
State,
local
well,
law.
every time we do a local law, the town clerk has
Yeah.
signed their part of it, I sign my part, it gets sent over to
Right.
Secretary of State. They send back an acknowledgement form, and then usually within a few months, you see it up on the state website. But not every municipality has the ongoing service with E-codes. It depends on whether you want to pay for that.
Right.
And if you don't, then periodically you have to, some places are every 3 years, some places are every 5 years, because they don't do that many local
Just
laws.
do an update, right.
They do an update.
So
But not
somewhere
every
like
25
Rensselaer
years.
would
No.
have a lot of them. Some bigger municipalities might feasibly have more,
They
so
they have the
subscribe.
ongoing service, like City of Troy has the ongoing service. Town of East Greenbush, I believe, now has the ongoing service. But, you know, granted, I don't know if you would want to pay for that. I'll defer to town clerk on what the cost is.
Volume-wise, probably just periodically.
Ask
3
for-
to 5 years.
Ask for estimates about all the programs they have. Get numbers for all the different things.
Nancy Hart, just to clarify, she's the city of
City
Rensselaer?
clerk, yep,
Of Rensselaer, right?
correct, HARDT.
Most of the bigger towns, like the building code, they can go stronger
Yeah.
than what the actual New York State building code is, so they have a lot, especially in the cities. You know, fence codes, this stuff, I mean, you dealt with that more than, you know, in the.
If a community wants to be stiffer than the New York State Building Code, they have to prove to the state of New York that they can be stiffer. If you have stiffer
Basis.
rules,
Yeah, you have to have a public safety concern that you want to
right?
enforce.
Can't
Be
go.
that as it may,
Yeah.
all the different programs, some of them are available to us. Some thought should be brought to bringing a couple of these up to date. We can make copies of them. I don't need a book like that, I need a copy of it, that's all. And that's a Xerox machine. Food for thought.
Thank you, Mark. Good food for good thought. Thank you. Okay, that was planning board. Grafton Rescue Squad.
For the month of April, we had 27 calls for 106 hours in the ambulance, 625 miles. We transported 14 of those. We had 6 times that we were actually canceled. We gave mutual aid to surrounding areas 6 times. We had to receive mutual aid 3 times. And we transported to Samaritan 7 times. Albany Medical Center 3 times, the veterans 2 times, and once each to Albany Medical Center Peds and to Southwestern Vermont Medical Center.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
The dog control officer? Want to do it yourself because you're here?
Sure.
All right.
I had one call complaint of dog running loose harassing the neighbor, and one stray dog running loose, picked up, that dog was leaving over with his own. Been kind of quiet, like we haven't any voice. Hopefully it stays that way.
Okay, thank you.
Good, thank you.
The youth director.
Hi. So I'm here tonight. The summer camp is geared up and ready to go. We have the application on the town website, and I believe it was included in the library newsletter. Yes? Leanne?
She's going to do a separate post.
A separate post for that. So just some other optional areas to get the application for registering for the camp. Dates for the field trips and those kinds of things, the very specific directions for parents. That parent letter will come after the registrations come in, and we'll send it out. You do have to be signed up for the camp, your child, in order to participate in the field trips. That was the same as last year. It's still free for Grafton kids, and I believe because of our agreement with Petersburg Town Hall to hosting us the last 2 weeks, that instead of children from Petersburg having to pay like they did last year, that they would be included as well. We do have other kids from other areas that do come in last year for, and we're going to keep that the same rate as we did. And there were some questions about the counselors and the number of counselors. Again, that will, the budget that I encouraged for passing last year at the end of the year was to cover any kind of increase in our camp numbers. So that's like a cap number of 9 counselors. There shouldn't be a need to go over that. And this year we are hoping to include some younger kids, not as a counselor, but kind of, you know, that whole idea of training, but to give them the ones that are graded out of the actual camp, that they can now start to participate as leaders for the younger kids and stuff like that. So there's a couple of kids that are interested in that, ages 13, 14, so we'll see how that goes. And I'm just waiting for applications to come in for the counselors. I have one currently, and there are a few that were here last year that have already said they're interested in, and had a ton of fun, can't wait to, you know, sign up and be a counselor again. Also, parents have been asking, is it, you know, is it gonna happen, is it gonna happen? Yes, yes, yes. Is there any other question about that?
You're gonna be doing food.
Yes, the Rensselaer County, the summer food program is going to be, we will be recipients of that, the camp itself. So any of the kids that sign up, they have a free lunch and snack during the 5 weeks of camp. We'll be using the Petersburg Hall to keep the food as a drop-off point. The 3 weeks, we, just like we did last year, we'll be putting it in a cooler and heading down to the state park for our 2 weeks of swim lessons. That's happening again, same time, first session in the morning. That application was just sent yesterday, I believe, from the park. So that'll be showing up on the website as well. You just mark down, even if you don't have it, just let me know if you want your kid to be in that. And so that's really great because Rensselaer had a change, and so that's good that they're still doing it. I'm trying to think of what else.
Or what's the cost for a child outside of Grafton and Petersburg?
I don't remember. I remember it was $75 a week, and then it was a certain amount a day.
Okay.
So most kids would just come in for the week pay for the week, or if they had a couple days here and there, stuff like that.
I had a resident ask me if she wants her grandchild to go,
Mm-hmm.
and the grandchild doesn't live in town.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay, and if they're a resident, if they're here for the summer of a resident, so that's fine.
So she wouldn't have to
Just
pay?
put down the address of where they live for the summer. and
Okay.
It had, it's Grafton resident, so that's fine. I wanted to thank you, Ingrid, for following through with the bottles. Because we hadn't been able to do that with the recycling center. And still, that seems to be the best way to do it, is to have the recycling center call when it's full. They just make that phone call and they come and pick up the bottles. So that's been seemingly the best way to do it. So we'll keep it that way unless something changes. I'd be more than happy to pitch in for that, but it looks like that's working. Is there any other question about the summer camp that anybody had? Just, you can email me, call. Okay. No? All right. That's it for me. Thanks.
All right,
Thank you.
okay, thanks, Laura. Okay, from the Recreation Committee, tonight we have a letter from Madonna. Right? Hello, the Recreation Committee is very excited about the annual picnic coming up soon on June 1st at Graywalk Meadows. We have been planning and working to bring this event together for the town. We are asking everyone to bring a side dish, salad, or dessert to share. Burgers, hot dogs, and drinks will be provided. We've started an event page on Facebook where there will be updates about the picnic weekly, along with advertising on Happy Residents and Grafton Folks pages. Also, signs will be going up around town soon. Christina Rieger will be our music entertainment this year. So far, we have about 20 door prizes. If any of the board members would like to help with the event and/or donate a door prize, they can reach me on Facebook or at madroy2023@gmail.com. I've attached a flyer for your enjoyment. Thank you, and we hope to see everyone at the picnic. And again, this is Sunday, June 1st at Graywalk Meadows from 2 to 5, okay? 2 to 5 p.m. So that's the first event of the year or second event of the year for the Recreation Committee, so hopefully we'll see everyone there. The Grafton Community Library. Leanna.
Hi, sorry, that's okay. Okay, so the statistics for the library for April, 674 regular books checked out, 311 ebooks checked out. Patron visits, 286 adults, 55 children, and 8 teens. We have teen night coming up on May 16th, which is this Friday. We started a new Zumba session tonight, and that's going to go until June 16th. Our summer reading program kickoff is also going to be June 16th, and it's also the end of the kids getting off the bus until September. We put in for a grant from the McCarthy Charities Foundation, and we received that grant for $3,000. And that's going to be in partnership with the youth group and the Petersburg Youth Group in the Petersburg Library. We're doing 5 performers, 1 per week, for each of the weeks of the summer camp.
Great.
But then it's also part of the summer reading program, so kind of combined. We just met on this past Thursday with Rensselaer County Youth Services. And the library is going to be a drop-off pickup for Meals for Children. And it'll be for 8 weeks. 8 weeks, it's
whole
like,
summer.
yeah, it's the whole summer. So like starts June 30, goes all the way through to till Labor Day. There's no,
That's gonna be open?
they have to register. Is that what you mean by open? There's no financial requirement. It doesn't interfere at all with the summer program, because I did check that first. They're reaching out to all the libraries in the rural areas. Our district qualifies because the children in our school district are over 50% get free lunches. So there's no financial requirement. It can be any Rensselaer County child. But they do have to register. The drop-offs will be on Monday. They'll drop off meals for 3 days per child. And then again on Thursday for 5 days of food. Paperwork is going to be a little But, you know, we're working out, we're gonna try to get some volunteers to help. Like I said, they do have to register, but there's no financial requirements.
Who do they register with?
We'll be putting it out on Facebook, so it'll be with the library.
Okay.
They'll be signing up with the library. Which kind of brings me to the next question that I have. So I want to thank Tom for allowing the Eastwick, the library, to put all of our events and programs in the Eastwick for many, many years. But now, what are we doing? You know, we're going to use the town website, Facebook, using the Grafton Facebook. We're trying to put it on the folks page and the Happy Residents page. But, and I could be wrong, in January, when you decided who was going to be the papers for the town, I thought it was going to be the Eastwick and the Troy Record.
Virginia.
Okay, so that was my question, because I did see some advertising, some stuff in the legals in the Times Union for Sunday.
Right.
So, I reached out to the Troy Record to try to find out how many residents get the Troy Record in Rensselaer County. Haven't heard back yet. I just don't know if Times Union is gonna give us kind of the time of day
Right.
for, you know, advertising our programs. Don't know if the Troy Record will either, but,
Troy Record's owned by Times Union, I believe, is it?
I don't know, Tom. I don't know. I had to do it. I called, they wouldn't give me the information. They gave me an email address to send my request to. Who knows if I'll even ever hear back. So, like I said, I've submitted, we're gonna, you know, keep submitting stuff to Becky to go on the town's official webpage. And then all the other social medias, the post office, the store. But if you have any other ideas on how to get this information, the school, we send stuff out to the school. So, events page. Okay?
All right, congrats on the grant, that's awesome.
Yeah.
McCarthy grant, good work.
Well, and the food too is gonna be.
All right, the state park. I don't think we actually have a printed report from them, but they do send along their email with the links to the programs that they have. So, they didn't send an educator, so, okay. All right, the senior citizen representative.
Okay.
There she is.
Our monthly meeting is tomorrow, the 13th at 10:30. Always call for updates and time changes or cancellations, but this time of year, I don't think we have that problem. We will continue discussion of future plans for July and Piscataqua Fair entries. Stop in for a calendar of activities and the monthly menu, each smart from Cornell Cooperative Extension, birthday trivia and hair appointments. Tuesday the 20th is Bring a Friend to Lunch Day. Please join us and bring a friend or two. Thursday, or the 22nd, Ray Gifford is here, comes for lunch and stay for music. Donations are ongoing with adult bibs, Project Linus blankets, newborn hats, as well as walker and wheelchair bags. Nurses at one of the hospitals sent pictures of them holding some of the hats. Thursday morning at 10 is Strings and Things, when we may be working on any of these projects. And that's all I have for that.
Great, sounds busy. Okay, do you want to segue right into the Historical Society?
Sure,
Okay,
might as well.
okay.
This display case outside the door over here has been replaced with the schedule of meetings and programs for the year through November. The information for this month can be also found on the town website. I sent that in. The information, please note that the picnic is June 18th at the park at Deerfield, potluck at 5:30, or eat at 6. Hot dogs and hamburgers are provided. Members and guests welcome. The display case inside here has a few copies of postcards. The Grafton Historical Society will be participating in the Hoosick Heritage Fair this Saturday. It's from 10 to 3 at the Armory. There will be local or regional displays as well as interpreters and interactive family activities, including a free trolley ride. That's
Great,
it.
okay, all right, thank you. I think that's interesting. So the case in the walkway is
So
all
going outside the door here.
updated with all the events for the year.
Mhm.
Great, that's awesome, thank you.
What time was the picnic?
Eat at 6, come at 5:30 and, you know. There we go, yep, potluck's out at 5:30. Great, okay, thank you. And I don't think we have a Merrymakers rep tonight, so we'll go on from there. All right, under communications received, we have a notice of public hearing, and this actually comes from our neighbors to the east, Petersburg. Please take notice that the town board of the town of Petersburg shall hold a public hearing on proposed local law number 1 of the year 2025 of the town of Petersburg, a local law to make certain amendments to local law number 5 of the year 2015 relating to the siting of manufactured homes, micro homes, and recreational vehicles for residential purposes. The hearing shall be held at 6 p.m. on May 19th at the Petersburg Town Hall. The town board shall hold the public hearing to accept comments from the public on the proposed local law referenced above. The proposed local law would make certain amendments to local law number 5 of the year 2015. It would clarify that certain applications relating to manufactured homes, micro homes, and recreational vehicles would require site plan review. It would set forth restrictions on how long RV2s could be used residentially. The proposed local law would also provide that when a mobile home or manufactured home is being replaced, proof of adequate septic and water can be provided by the owner in a number of different ways set forth in the proposed local law. A copy of the proposed local law may be reviewed at the office of the town clerk of the town of Petersburg during her normal business hours or on the town website, petersburg.org. Respectfully submitted, Deirdre Fowler, Petersburg Town Clerk. So this was given to me by our town clerk and suggested by Petersburg that we read this at our meeting. So again, they're having a public hearing on May 19th, and anyone that's interested can find more information on the bulletin board and on our, I assume we'll post it on our website on the front page, posting page, but we'll see. Okay, then also under communications received, we heard from Kelly Kirchner. She's the assistant regional, Kelly Kircher, I'm sorry, the assistant regional traffic engineer for state DOT. She's hoping to have something for us by May 16th with regard to the reduction of the speed limit through the village. So we did hear back from them. What else do we have? Any other communications received? You folks have? Okay. We do have some fresh information with regard to the Dunham Reservoir that I'd like to ask Doug LaRock to brief us all on. To brief us briefly, bring us up to speed.
I think most of you are aware that about 18 months ago, we were notified via the Department of Environmental Conservation that the 4 dams that are owned by the State Park Association all have problems. 3 of them are very minor. The Martin Dunham is in a different story. It is considered to be inadequate and in danger. If it were to ever breach, the flood would reach all the way down to the Britton Hill High School and would be disastrous. We have been after parks to give us some information as to what they were going to do about it. And for the last 15 months, no response. So I reached out to Jake Ashby's office, and he sicked his little bulldog Dan Casale on them. They have since responded that they have considered the dam, and they will be holding a public hearing as required by law in June. The date, the time, and the location yet to be set, where they will consider repairs or mediations to the dam, everything up to decommissioning it, taking it out, which, as I understand it, would be the end of Dunham Pond. So as soon as we hear date, time, and etc., I will make sure that gets up on our website and put out everywhere we can on any website so that people know and can attend. We're hopeful that They're not going to go to decommission. Dan told me that they would not specify to him what they are looking at. They supposedly said they want public feedback before they make a decision. So as soon as we have a date and time, I'll let everybody know, but at least we're finally getting some movement thanks to Mr. Senator Ashby's office.
All right, thank you, Doug, for bringing us up to speed on that. So there'll be a public hearing. It'll be announced shortly. Okay. All right, any other communications? No. All right, under new business, we have the workplace violence and sexual harassment training scheduled for the highway workers in particular, 9:30 to 11:30 here in this room on Thursday the 15th. Any other town employees that would like to piggyback onto that have the time can do so. If not, we'll be providing email links where people can take it themselves and then provide the certificate thereafter. Any other new business? No? Okay. All right, under old business, I'm going to defer to Nancy and Tom for status of repairs on the Wager Center.
Okay, I've gotten 2 bids for the 16 items that we have. 11 of the 16, both bids that I've gotten so far can do 11 out of the 16 items. I've talked to an HVCC to try to get a couple of bids there. I'm waiting for their call back. But there is, when I was down with the contractor, he had looked at their roof over the porch, and he said the roof, the tiles are sticking up. So I'm gonna ask to have that added to our list. And there was something else that was, there was 2 things. There was that and something else that we want to add to the list. I can't remember what the second one was. Porch?
Something else that was discovered,
Yeah, was just discovered.
the supports underneath the...
Oh, the ramp, the ramp. Both contractors that I've had come up, when they've looked at the pipe that comes down from the attic, has also taken pictures of the ramp, the handicap ramp, and that's not in a real good shape. It was fixed temporarily, but I think we really need to get that done, since that's the ramp that most people use to go into the senior center, and you've got electric wheelchairs and everything going up. So I also am asking to have that added to it. So that would make it 18 things. And Tom's gonna stop down tomorrow. I asked him if he would stop down and take a look at that roof, and then we'll know if we could at least put it on. If we don't need it, that's fine, but we're here instead of waiting another month.
So we're actively working on it, getting the senior center up to snuff, which we know it would take a while, but good on you for getting the estimates. Okay, advertising for recycling attendant position. It appears that, God willing, Steve will be back Wednesday. That's what he's looking at, so hopefully we'll be able to have him back at his duty station Wednesday, and of course we continue to send him our good wishes.
Now, when he comes back, does he have to provide a doctor's note saying that he can do the job?
Typically, that's how it works, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Especially, I know how it works for the state, but I didn't know how it works
For
here.
the state, yep, yep. He's, hopefully he'll have that in his hand when he shows up on Wednesday.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, speed limits and crosswalks. We just talked about the speed limits, having heard from Kelly Kirchner with DOT. Crosswalks remain our option. If we want to do them, we can. My understanding is municipalities have that call to make themselves. So let's see how we do with the speed limits and proceed from there to keep things more safe in the center of town. Sewer line at the town hall. Get that laminated wood again over there. There hasn't been, it's been operating. We still have the gentleman that came in to look at it going through here to put in the grinder pump, but we're just hanging on to that estimate and hoping that we're able to continue without needing to give it extraordinary attention. The grant writer position, we've had an awful lot of discussion about it since we last met in April. We've had a few parties in town that are interested in doing it. We've had some informed input from the library about once we get that position in place, how things would work from there. So we're really still in the fact-finding stage of the game, I guess you'd say, with how that would best work for Groton.
How it would be administered and how you would do your backup, your final reports and all that kind of stuff.
Yes. Yeah, how in-depth we want to go.
I mean, you can write grants and get them, but then,
Yeah. Then what?
And you have all this other stuff that has to be done, so the grant writer is one thing, who's gonna do the rest of the work?
Right, so we're learning just how much is actually involved in employing the services of a grant writer from the get-go.
And I believe Leanna could, we could talk to Leanna separately, and I think she knows all that, because she does you do the administering of the,
New York State construction grants.
yep.
Yeah.
So would you be willing to sit down with a couple of us and?
Sure, but it's probably gonna be more than one position. You know, you might have a grant writer and then an administrator.
See, the deeper we get, the more we know. But we've got to, tailor it, of course, for what's best for Grafton.
Right, but if we can get some grants, it might be worth it.
Grants are good.
They're pretty tough right now.
Yeah.
Mhm. Cashless recycling.
Okay, I've been talking with Jody about this. Jody hasn't been feeling well, and I've had a few days that I haven't felt well, but now she's away. When she comes back, we're gonna make a field trip down to Berlin and Steventown to see how they do their recycling. In the meantime, I did find out that the way Brunswick does theirs with the bags, you can buy them at the town hall or at the Stewart's in Brunswick. It's $30 for 10 bags, but anybody can take and buy a bag and take their garbage there. And I don't think we want that in Grafton. Not that people from Troy, they drop their garbage here, but it's on the roads. So we've looked at that because it was brought up, and we did a follow through on it. But I think we're still going to have to go the other way with the cashless instead of, because you got to have some kind of control over it too. So that's where we're at with that.
Okay, and the last thing we have under old business is the live stream services discussion, which we basically tabled last month in order to get a little bit more information about it, which I feel as though we have.
We had gotten, yeah.
We got it, so we actually have a resolution on board tonight to take a look at passing to get that put in place, live streaming of our meetings. All right, any other old business? No? Okay. All right, public comment. Public comments are limited to 5 minutes per person. Be mindful the public comment portion of the meeting is privileged, and all comments and statements shall be directed to the town board. Please refrain from any personal attacks, name calling, or derogatory public comments toward individuals. All right, who'd like to start us this evening? Oh, okay.
I would just like to say, I drive school bus, and I drive where roads are maintained by 3 different municipalities. And I will tell you that Jared and the guys have done one heck of a job.
Aw.
The other municipalities, I don't know where they are or what they're doing, but the roads are in rough condition. And I would truly appreciate how nice Grafton's roads are.
Oh. Well, thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah, that means a lot coming from someone who drives a non-comfortable vehicle usually. Great, awesome. All right, thank you, Vicki.
Thank you, Vicki.
Okay, who else from the floor tonight? John Munn.
Just want to comment that it's timely to address solar farms. There is a sign on Snyder Road and at the intersection of Snyder and South Road that says solar farm coming soon.
Okay.
I don't know where that farm is going to go.
I can tell you that's a bad sense of humor.
I know.
Did disregard that sign.
Oh, okay, all right.
was gonna say, my
That's what you-
understanding is that's not.
I kind of figured it was going on the farm on Snyder Road.
Got it, okay. Okay, well, thank you, John, and thank you, Vicki, for
Thank you for the clarification.
clarifying that.
You're safe.
You're safe. Okay. Who else tonight? Yes, Rob Loveday.
I have a few thoughts regarding your plan to contract with the town hall streams company to stream our town board and planning board meetings. The absolute minimum, just to drive this point home even further, the absolute minimum of microphones that need to be installed to provide clear audio is 3. That includes 2 mics over the board members area and 1 located directly over the audience. I suggest purchasing, and this is specific, phantom-powered condenser mics, not the battery-powered condenser type that Mr. Eric Spenlenhauer suggests. There is no maintenance with the phantom-powered type that has its own power supply instead of the ones he suggests, which require you to change batteries every month. So if somebody doesn't change the battery before a meeting, there's no audio. So that seems silly. So if you spend a little more to get a power supply, you're golden every month. A quick review of the viability of this project shows that the limiting factor is not the amount of citizen interest, since Ann Calabro's Facebook video post gets a minimum of 600 views a month. And it's not the lack of research, because over the past 14 months, 2 board members, a town employee, and myself have all gathered information. The limiting factor for high-quality setup is not Mr. Eric Splenlenhauer of the Town Hall Streams Company, since he will install any equipment that you desire. He will purchase the equipment and put it in. You can purchase some, and he will put it in. It's actually quite easy. And the limiting factor should not be cost. To that end, I'm donating a check for $100 to the town as part of a microphone fund. Now, there are a dozen residents in the town who could pitch in $10 to add to this fund. That would be helpful. These donated funds will help the town of Grafton to install enough microphones to provide clear audio. Additionally, I'm willing to donate my time as a general helper during the installation of the equipment. So I'll give you a check for $100 if I can get a receipt at some point. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Absolutely.
Very committed. Yes. Technically, you call them phantom-powered condenser mics?
Correct.
Okay, gotcha. Cool. All right.
Where do you buy those, you know?
You can buy them at B&H Photo. You can buy them directly from a company. I've done a little research, but I don't want to step on toes. Eric could give you more information. I'm just trying to push for the best audio and spending the money up front.
Well, if you find anything where we can get them, let us know.
Okay, thank you.
Right? Exactly, yeah, perfect, right? Yep. Okay, all right, anyone else from the floor? And Calabro.
I want to tell roads people, our road is great.
bet.
We have no potholes at all. It's the first year we've had no problems at all. It's good. I thank Tom for telling a little bit about the code enforcement thing. I was kind of wondering what kind of a timeline people were given when they got their letters.
You get 10 days after the letter, they receive the letter, to contact me. If they're gonna be working on moving cars, then I work with the people, as long as they're making a good faith attempt. If they're not, I confer with the judges to see what night they want them there, and the tickets are sent out, and they will appear within 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks of the tickets being issued, so.
Yeah, I was curious of the teeth of the code enforcement. It's like, what exactly happens? You know?
Oh, yeah, it's a ticket. They have to show up before the court. The
And
court
if they
decides.
don't?
If they don't, they could be fined. Illegal dumping is a $5,000 fine. It's a misdemeanor, so they do have to have representation by an attorney. The cars, I think, are $250 a piece if they don't remove them. And
If they don't remove them, do you have someone do
we
it?
possibly can get them towed out of there, just like an abandoned building. I come before the planning board or before the town board. They make a recommendation that it's a building that's in dire straits. It's a hazard to the community, and then we set forward with Jared, we usually do it ourselves, tear the building down, and then it's levied to the taxes to Rensselaer County, and Rensselaer County reimburses us for our fees. So
Okay,
that's
I was
basically
just
how it
curious
goes.
about that.
It's not a, you hand the ticket out, and, you know, I have to coordinate with the judges to see what nights they're gonna be there. A lot of times, some of these people need the DA because they need an attorney, you know, so, court-appointed attorney and whatnot, so.
Okay. I had a thing about, I know you guys have a lot of committees, but I mentioned it once before, but we never hear anything really about what you guys talk about. Like, I'm assuming that your committees actually meet periodically, but we don't ever get a report about what kind of stuff you're talking about and what kind of decisions have been made. I just think that would be nice to hear once in a while. What else did I have? So I know Grafton has a senior group, the Merrymakers. Petersburg also has one, and so does Berlin. And so I want to tell people that if anyone's interested in going to the other groups, they are welcome to come. Tomorrow night is the one in Petersburg. There's about 40 people now that come to it. And Berlin has about 25, and they meet on the third Wednesday. I think it's the third Wednesday. It's next Wednesday they meet. And so we don't get very many people that come to the Merrymakers. I haven't gone this year at all. Last year we only had 10 people, and 6 of them were Grafton residents and 4 were from outside areas. So if anyone's interested in going there, Grafton charges $3. Grafton, the Merrymakers charge you $3 to be a member, and you get one meal. Everybody gets a meal once a month, and then they have a trip. Petersburg has more stuff going on. I actually like it better. That's why I've been going to it. But I just wanted to let people know that there are other options. I've heard of a lot of people saying that they're really not all that interested in coming to Grafton. So I'm trying to let people know that they have options. And that's about it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, anyone else from the floor? John Munn.
I'm sorry to interrupt again. I'm volunteering at the Grafton Food Pantry, and I would just like to point out that the Grafton Food Pantry is open on most Saturdays from about 9:30, what time? 10 o'clock to 1 o'clock, and it's basically, if you are food insecure, the pantry is here to service people and serve people, and welcomes basically people from Grafton, Hoosick, Berlin, Petersburg, up to the state line, and maybe as far, I think maybe as far as Cropseyville. I'm not certain exactly what the boundary is.
Okay, thank you, thanks.
Just to mention, the library is a drop-off point for any food that people want
Donations
to don't. Yeah.
to the food pantry, okay.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
They're only open on Saturdays? They're only open on
Yeah,
Saturdays?
they're only open on Saturdays.
Okay.
But the library is 26 hours a week, so people can drop food off, and then somebody from the food pantry stops and picks it up.
I was thinking more if somebody needed something, but it's only open on Saturdays.
If somebody is in need,
Yeah,
they'll be taken care of.
okay.
thank you. All right, anyone else tonight?
I have one quick
Yeah.
thing. I've had a lot of people comment on my videos that they can't hear people's voices, particularly you guys. So that goes along with the microphones. Just wanted to let people know that people are watching,
Okay.
but they're saying, we can't hear it, we can't hear it, and I don't know what else to do.
Okay, well, hopefully we're on the fast track to getting that behind us. Yes, good. Super. All right, anyone else? No? Okay, we're moving on to motions and resolutions. We have resolution number 35 of 2025. Whereas the town of Grafton having solicited quotes so as to provide streaming services for the town of Grafton, and the attached quote having been received from Town Hall Streams at a quote of $250 per month, plus a one-time installation cost of $500, and it appearing appropriate to approve such quote, and whereas such approval is determined to be in the best interest of the town of Grafton, now therefore be it resolved that on behalf of the town of Grafton, the quote attached hereto is hereby approved, and the town of Grafton supervisor is authorized to execute the attached quote on behalf of the town of Grafton. I'd like to make a motion to adopt resolution 35 of 2025 for live streams. May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Hoyt.
This says resolution 37.
It's resolution 35. It's 35.
Councilman LaRock,
Yes.
Councilman McCluskey,
Yes.
Councilman Hoyt,
Yes.
Supervisor Hunter.
Yes. Okay, great. And then, it was resolution 35, as that's what it was when we tabled it from last month's meeting, so we just resumed with those numbers. And then we have resolution 38 of 2025, whereas the town of Grafton desires to piggyback on the county of Rensselaer approved paving bids for Peckham Road Corp. so as to provide paving services for the town of Grafton in the 2025 paving season per the attached bid backup information and bid breakdown quote. And whereas such approval is determined to be in the best interests of the town of Grafton, now therefore be it resolved that on behalf of the town of Grafton, the bid information and quote attached hereto is hereby approved, and the superintendent of highways is authorized to execute the attached quote in an amount not to exceed $184,985 on behalf of the town of Grafton. I'd like to make a motion to adopt resolution number 38. May I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Lukowski.
Councilman LaRock,
Yes.
Councilman McCluskey,
Yes.
Councilman Hoyt,
Yes.
Supervisor Hunter.
Yes. Okay. All right, thank you. And then we have a motion to pay the bills as audited. This evening we have vouchers number 150 through 153. 154 has been deleted as it was discovered to be a duplicate. Then we resume with numbers 155 through 182 for a total of $27,751.31. I'd like to make a motion to pay the bills as audited. May I have a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Councilwoman LaRock.
Councilman LaRock,
Yes.
Councilman Hoyt,
Yes.
Councilman McCluskey,
Yes.
Supervisor Hunter.
Yes. Okay, our next meeting will be our June 9th regular town board meeting at 7 p.m. Under legislative privilege, I'd just like to please remind everyone about the June 1st town picnic, Graywalk Meadows, 2 to 5. And also to get in your applications for summer camp. Okay. Anyone else have legislative privilege? Just real quick, yeah.
I just want to say that the fire department had their banquet over the weekend. It was very nice. So thank you, Jimmy, and your people.
Yes, thank you. All right, if there's no other legislative privilege, I would like to make a motion to adjourn in loving memory of John Beaudry and Kate Brimmer. May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman McCuskey. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.